Hi, I'm Bran, and I love Hallmark Christmas television shows.
I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark Christmas television shows.
I'm Alonso, and I'm here for a big bowl of cereal, and this
is the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host his podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Well, hi there, everybody.
Boy.
Welcome. Another Monday, another TV show we missed.
On the plus.
That's
and
right.
also, you can stop emailing us. Stop messaging us.
That's right.
We're here. We made it. Unwrapping Christmas took precedent, and we stand by that decision. But now we're here.
Yeah. Tia and Mia and
Sylvia
Charlotte
and Olivia
their-
and Carol.
Marge,
their
Noel
stories matter.
That's right.
and everybody moving in and out of that one house on Cherry Lane.
Cherry Lane. So just an absolute
It matters.
cursed house.
Yeah, we're excited to dive into Holidazed. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Alonso, how are you? Happy Monday to you. Merry Christmas.
Happy Monday and Merry Christmas. Yeah. How are things in Greenville? It's not snowing here, but I don't know what about you guys?
It is. So at the moment that we're recording this, it's just bitter cold, which colder than we are used to around here. But the school system has said they're sending Chromebooks home with the kids in case they have a e-learning day tomorrow. And there's nothing but a flurry maybe in the forecast. I mean, like it boggles the mind.
It might be
Brand.
too cold. It might be too cold.
Might be too cold.
Might be a 2-hour delay because it's too cold.
Yeah, it
That's
could
a
be
thing.
that. It could be.
That's a
It could be
thing.
a too cold delay. We've had
Are you
those.
telling me the snow day is no longer a thing?
Snow
Snowday's
day's
not a thing. It is it's an
I know.
e-learning day. And can I tell you what I do? And if any of my kids' teachers are listening, I'm fine with you knowing this because I always want to be above board. That's big for me. It's an e-learning day, and they'll send home the schedule. You got to be online in your Zoom, or it's a Google Classroom meetup.
Which is
And
trash.
So my kids do the first one. The kids do the first one at whatever it is, 8, 9, every teacher's different. They do the first one, and then they have their assignments for the day. As soon as there's snow on the ground, my internet goes out. And when I say my internet goes out, I'm not going to lie to anybody. I go and unplug it. And then I email the teachers from my phone, and I say, we're having some connectivity issues, not a lie. And then we shut it down and we go play in the snow because my kid is not learning ones, tens, and hundreds when there's snow on the ground. He's not doing it. There are more important things. So my conscience is clean. And if any of his teachers are listening, that's what I'm doing. And they probably appreciate it. They probably wish every kid would do that. But that's what we do. So there's that.
I just, I think of the snow day as a sacred
That's right.
relic
That's
of
right.
an earlier time, and I'm with you in not letting it go.
Mhm.
You used to wait and see if it was on the ticker. You know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
news.
the news in the morning and
Yeah.
the radio or
Let's
whatever.
see,
Yeah.
are you
watch the-
100?
Let's watch the ticker. Let's watch the ticker. That's all I'm saying. Let's get back to the ticker.
Let's get back to the ticker.
Everybody's relying
What happened to the ticker?
on their social medias and their websites. And I say, no, sir, not me. I wait until Greenville County Schools show up on the ticker.
The ticker.
And I think my kids look at it too. Say, kids,
Once you get online.
look at this.
Yeah.
I love that we are building a generation to whom Bran gets to be the, in my day.
That's exactly right.
Rand is all of 32 years old, and he's
Yeah.
like
I do it while doing a viral
33,
dance.
33 now.
I'm like, let's go watch the ticker. So I'm still hip.
You're a ticker talker.
Yeah, I'm a
Okay.
ticker
I
talker.
will say I don't miss
and
the,
we watch the ticker while I do the ticker talker dance.
That's right. And you check on your ticker
That's
because it could
exactly
be
right.
going at any minute.
It could be.
The one thing I do miss about snow days and not the ticker is there's nothing teachers can do. Like before the Google Classroom, you're out of luck, teachers.
No.
I don't care if you want to move forward. You can't get to us. You can't get to us. There's nothing you can do.
That's right.
It's snowman time, baby. There's nothing you can do. And I love that. I love that so much, and it's gone. Because even though I have internet connectivity issues, my kids have a packet of work.
I know, they send them a packet.
They send them scissors and rulers, tape. They send them literally everything they need to do the activity. And it's like, I'm so happy that you're planned and prepared, but also, come on, guys.
So basically, everybody is now the poor kid in that Christmas who gets stuck having to do a full day of class, even though there's snow on the ground.
Yeah. No, I don't make them do it.
That's good parenting.
You can take the L, kids. I don't even care if your report card looks worse.
I think it's traumatic. I think all these kids during COVID had to do the Google Classroom.
Yes.
And now when they log back in, it's traumatic.
Right.
It was a traumatic
Flashbacks.
experience. That's exactly right.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, in high school, it is.
We're so old right now.
We're so old.
This isn't the way it should be.
But no, I'm not. But I'm not. Like, the thing is I'm not old in the sense that I want my kids to make good grades over having an experience. In high school, it does go towards college. In second grade, what are you going to get? A couple zeros in homework? You're not going to pass my kid? Good luck. Good luck. I'll be there for that conversation. They're going to take the zeros. I don't care. They don't care. They don't look at their report
Going on
card.
their permanent record.
Get out of here. I was a principal. That's hysterical. Sixth grade parents calling me going, we're just worried about his permanent record, and I have to act like it's a thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. Yeah, that's good.
We all are.
Could happen.
We're all
Sixth grade. Permanent record. Get out of here.
Harvard's really going to be asking about those second grade zeros.
Please tell me those were snow day zeros. Because if
Harvard's
not, we're gonna have
things were
to
going
say
well,
no.
and then that cold snap in January of 25
Oh, man.
wrecked your kids' chances.
That's right.
See, look, when I at my high school, we had 2 computers in the library. They were Radio Shack TRS 80s, and that was it.
Yeah, that's right.
The good old days.
Yeah. Let's do Holidazed, shall we? Holidazed,
Yes.
episode 1 is called The Beginning, if you can believe
Oh,
it.
really?
It
Interesting.
originally premiered on my brother Pat's birthday. So shout out to Pat.
Shout out to Pat,
November
brother of the week.
14th,
Hey, Pat.
brother of the week.
Brother birthday.
Brother birthday. On November 14th, 2024. It went a little something like this. The episode kicks off with some narration. So I'm in. Setting up the magic of the holiday season and how we're all hoping for it to be the perfect Christmas, but it never quite works out that way. We meet Chuck, who gets himself a bucket lifter to get his Christmas decorations as high as possible. He doesn't care what his neighbors think, especially his next door neighbor, Manny, who seems to have some beef with Chuck. And Chuck has some beef with him as well, despite the fact that their kids are now dating. Then there's Jennifer, who is stressed because her mom, Linda, is dating a younger man and bringing him home for the holidays. Jennifer's dad, Robert, is coming too, but Linda has yet to tell him about her new young boyfriend. Josh Hill comes home for Christmas before his big move to Sydney. He buys his parents tech gadgets, but they don't use them. He probably is a big fan of snow day, e-learning days. He probably loves it. He's like, every kid needs a Chromebook. Ted and Marcus arrive to celebrate their engagement with Ted's family this Christmas, and Ted's mom is pumped. We also meet two teenagers, not two strangers. They're strange to me. They're teens. What are they doing? Max and Annie are their names. They're best friends, and they're working on a gift drive. But when cool girl Stephanie shows up, Max is clearly smitten by her, which bums Annie out. And one has to ask, Annie, are you okay? She talks to her mom, Lucy, about it, which it goes okay. She says, hey, take a candy cane, kid. That's really all you need. Lucy runs a bakery, and a hunk named Cole comes in to do some handiwork. Sparks are flying. Lucy's sister, Sylvie, is coming into town to spend Christmas for the first time in a few years. Sylvie is a lot. Josh gets pulled over by Detective Nora Jacobs when he recognizes her from school. It's clear that they never really got along. She gives him a ticket, much to his surprise. He's like, I thought we were pals. Meanwhile, Manny and his wife are so excited that their daughter, Gabby, is home for Christmas. She has big news. She may be getting her own cooking show. But that joy does not last long when she finds out that her brother, Kevin, is dating their next door neighbor, Katie. Gabby, who used to torment her as a kid. Josh complains about the ticket to his parents, but his parents tell him that Nora's actually pretty awesome. Her husband passed away recently, and now she's raising the kid on her own. Josh begins to feel a little bit bad about giving her a hard time. Ted and Marcus are talking wedding plans when Ted brings up his grandma as a potential problem. Everybody skirts around the issue until Ted admits that his grandma doesn't know that he's gay. Marcus is shocked by this revelation and doesn't understand why Ted just doesn't tell her. They're even more surprised to find out that she's now coming for Christmas despite planning a spa trip in Florida for her. When she meets Marcus, Ted introduces him as quote-unquote his good friend. Clark and his wife, Rebecca, show up at his family's house. Clark's dad is Chuck, the Christmas light guy from the beginning. Their large family immediately gives him grief for deciding to go vegan this year.
Yeah.
Fair. Josh goes to pay his, much like Brian. Remember Brian went
Brian,
vegan?
remember that?
Josh goes to pay his
Hardest week of our lives.
It was a tough week. Josh goes to pay his ticket and meets Nora's kid. He teaches them how to properly structure his Legos. Gabby and her family head to the annual karaoke festival, which she loves. They do it every year. She's upset when Katie shows up, and things get worse when they both choose the same song to perform, and everyone knows what that means. Duets! They crush the duet until Katie accidentally hits Gabby in the face, causing her to fall off the stage. To top it all off, Gabby learns that her parents are giving Katie her room to sleep in because she's too tall for the couch. Later, Josh is in a rush to sign some papers at the real estate office for his parents. When he forgets to put his car in park, it rolls into a fire hydrant. Of course, Nora shows up and tells him that this is pretty serious. He's actually going to have to go to court for this. Josh pleads, stating that he's going to be moving to Australia, couldn't possibly make it to court, so she gives him community service instead, something that she's going to be doing as well, some community service. Gabby is looking for a blanket in the closet when she finds an engagement ring in Kevin's pocket. She is not happy. Ted's grandma finds the wedding planning photo album thing and assumes that Marcus is there, and Marcus is engaged to Ella, Ted's sister. So now she's staying because she's excited to help plan a wedding. Meanwhile, Chuck's wife, Connie, is tired of the family fighting, so she makes everybody sign a no fighting agreement. Chuck agrees that he will sign it, but insists we gotta go outside and turn the Christmas lights on first. They plug it in, it's magical until it's not, and they all turn off. And that, my friends, was
Holidays, the beginning.
beginning.
I was going to start in with episode 1 or season 1, episode 1.
Okay,
but
fair.
You went straight to
I went to the beginning.
That's fine.
I think it's...
I audibled.
Yeah. No, you did great.
Yeah,
You did great.
No problem.
Let's take a break.
I
We'll
love
take a
it.
break. We'll come back and we'll break this episode down here on
Deck the Hallmark.
Welcome back, everybody. We're talking about the pilots, if you will,
Sure.
of Holidazed, the beginning. They thought a lot about that title. Let's dive into it. Let's share our thoughts on it. We're going to start with a hot take. It's where we share exactly how we felt about this episode. We're not going to hold back, and I will start with you, Alonso. Alonso, I think you've already seen Holidays.
I have.
Okay.
I have. I've
All
watched
right.
the whole thing. Yeah, the first time that I watched it, I have to say I was pumped about it. This is a thing they shot like a couple of years ago, and they've been sort of teasing out for a long time, and I guess they were saving it for the big Hallmark Plus launch. And it's certainly ambitious, and like they're really shooting for something big here and complicated, and like kind of taking the stuff that they do in a Hallmark Christmas movie, but expanding it out into a series and giving themselves real estate and all that. So the first time I watched it, I think I was very excited about it and very into it. Watching it again, I'm kind of noticing how there's a lot of mugging going on. Like, this is directed by Stacey Harding, who did, Round and Round,
Friend of
one
the
of
pod,
the
Stacey
one of the
Harding.
great, yes, y'all have interviewed her, one of the great like Hallmark comedy films of the last few years. But there's a lot of like people like making their eyes get real big and like getting all, like Ian Harding is doing it, Gabby is doing it. Like, there's a lot of kind of histrionic behavior going on. The pros, I think, are a lot more chill. Virginia Madsen,
John C. McGinley.
Loretta Devine. John C. McGinley's kind of doing it,
but John C. McGinley mugs for a living. Like that's
but that's
his whole
just true.
thing.
That's why you bring him in. Yeah. Like if anything, I think Dennis Haysbert is maybe underplaying it.
What?
But it is fun, and I appreciate what they're going for here, and I think that looked at as on the scale of like what Hallmark movies do and how they do it, this is pretty good.
I really, really, really like this first episode.
Really liked
it's
it.
a trifecta of likes.
3 reallys. You think what's going to move to a love for you?
Well,
this is a full Carly Rae Jepsen. He really, 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 really liked it.
And I want you, and I want to, and I want you to, whatever the lyrics are to that song.
That's right.
Shout out Carly Rae.
And not the Call Me Maybe.
No.
Not that.
No.
Yeah, no.
Different.
She has
No
other
maybe.
songs. She has other songs.
Yes.
And I would say all those songs are a good time. It's another track from her.
That's good.
I really, really, really like this show. I thought that this, but I'm holding it, and I'm waiting to see how they play this out. But this first episode I thought was really solid, and I immediately felt drawn to all of the storylines, and I'm very intrigued to see how they play out. And my understanding, just looking at the titles, is that the next few episodes are going to be about kind of focusing in on one of the families each episode, which is nice for me as the synopsis writer, because this was a
bear.
This was a full-time job here.
Yeah.
But really enjoyed myself. I thought that it was funny. I thought that there were lots of compelling characters. Even with it, like some of the people that aren't like the main people that they connect, like just the people that kind of had a line or two, really interesting. I'm very intrigued by our guy Sidarius coming in as the younger guy.
I
think
happened
that's
to see
really
him in the IMDb.
Okay.
And then
So
when
you were
I
waiting-
heard
oh,
his
you heard-
voice, I was like,
I see.
oh, he's gonna
Yeah.
be the
When he
boyfriend.
came out, I
Yeah.
didn't see it coming. So when he
Yeah.
came out of the car, I was like, oh, that younger.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. That's fun.
Boy.
So really intrigued by that one. I think all the storylines are really fun, but that's the one that I felt like they spent the least amount of time on that one. And I think just because of the reveal of Sidarius was kind of the one that I was like, I can't wait for that episode in particular. But I'm really excited about all these episodes. I think it's going to be really fun. And I thought as far as a pilot episode kind of spotlighting these different stories, I thought they did a great job of jumping around. I don't have very many critiques at all. I really enjoyed myself. Dan?
Yeah, this is a good time. It's ambitious. For Hallmark, it's incredibly ambitious. It is serialized television. So unlike Mistletoe Murders, which basically just broke up a movie into 2 episodes, this very much is how do we take 8 Hallmark movies and make them serialized television. And I think that this structure makes more sense and is also tougher to pull off. But just a pure 40 minutes to 40 minutes, I like this more than Mistletoe Murders. Now, do I think it can continue to grow in quality and how much I love it like Mistletoe Murders? I don't know. But per capita, if you will, Brand,
I will. I love the
I
capita.
think this is a better show. And I think it is, you do have an embarrassment of riches here. I mean, we have Oscar nominees here. We've got Dennis Haysbert. We've got John C. McGinley. We've got Loretta Devine. We've got
Our boy
Virginia Madsen. Ian Harding, who he might be mugging some. He's never looked better. He always looks great, but I was struck by Ian Harding just like, dude, this guy looks great. For some reason, I don't know what it was. He just has never looked better.
Ian Harding 2 years ago.
Oh, that's what it
Prime.
was. He was younger.
Come on.
Got him.
No, Ian Harding and Aaron Cahill together are like,
Yeah, so
That's
Aaron Cahill.
genetic lotto.
Yeah, well, Aaron Cahill is one of the sweetest people we've ever met in person. Like thoughtful, remembers everything, is always like thinking of others. It's unbelievable. And whenever I watch her movies, I'm like, she's a really great actor trapped in a bad movie. And so for me to see her in this, those two together.
Yeah. I'm excited to see them more.
But I think
together.
that's the thing that I would say. This is more than a bit overstuffed. I think if you're going to have a complaint about this, it's okay, stop throwing characters at the screen. Character development happens over 8 episodes with 5 characters. You don't need 50 characters. And so that is the big complaint. But every storyline I care about. Everyone. I care about the Haysbert storyline. I care about the Hill family with the grandma showing back up. I care about the John C. McKinley storyline. I care about Ian Hardy and Aaron Cahill, absolutely. So I care about it all. It's ambitious. The acting is great. A bit overstuffed, absolutely. But as it stands right now, had a great time.
It's time for all the feels where we talk about what in this episode gave us feels. Alonso.
I have had not a relative, but a family friend who I wasn't allowed to come out to for a very long time because like she just wasn't going to be able to deal with it. And then finally there was like the Thanksgiving that Dave and I came home and she was also going to be there. And my dad had to sort of like take her aside and like spell it all out. So I get that tension
was she?
there.
Was she older than your parents?
She was the same age as my parents. My parents were old though. Like my
you were the
dad was 47 when I was born. Yeah. So, you know, these are people that remember the Spanish Civil War first.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
There
So that's, you know, but anyway, so I that kind of called memories of that up, the whole subplot with Nene.
When Ted was like, I'm just gonna tell her, and his dad's like, you want to kill her at Christmas?
Oh,
it's a very funny line. Very funny line and great delivery.
Yeah, that gave me feels. And then you know, here's the thing. I hate to like spoil anything, but the thing about this show is that it sets you up to think that, oh, this is a cul-de-sac, they're all neighbors, they're all going to be in each other's business. There's a lot less crossover than you would imagine that's going to happen.
From
like
the neighbors, they're not really, right? They're not like,
like you'll see like occasionally like Gabby, it turns out, is friends with Aaron Cahill, and you know, like the stroll becomes a big deal and stuff. But like
had I not been told that there was a cul-de-sac, I wouldn't have even gotten that from this episode.
Yeah.
There's obviously the two next door neighbors, and then one when Josh is complaining about the cop, they explain how she helped multiple of the neighbors, and so they but aside from that, like they never really do an establishing shot of the cul-de-sac or whatever.
Well, go ahead and finish.
No. That was, I mean, the feels build as this thing goes.
Sure.
So that's what I got for now.
Were you going to say something?
I was just going to say, like, for me, the fact that they've done this and set this up, it just made me angry that this wasn't on Hallmark Linear. And I know that's since we're being old people today, I just like, I just. Like,
it will be.
I get it. Yeah. I get why you put it on Hallmark Plus, but like this reeks of perfect programming for Christmas time for the maximum number of viewers.
I'm interested to see what they do with this coming holiday, and by coming I mean 10 months from now. Because of
and when you say 10, I think you mean 9, and I hate it.
That the post from
or 6,
the post from Sleepy Kitty Paws on the Blueski kind of laying out just how
dipped another 8% this year.
A tough year. I don't think they could possibly do that many movies again next year, although we've been wrong before. But maybe kind of moving in like, hey, we'll do a good batch of movies, but then we'll also have a show here or there that kind of makes more sense financially. Yeah. I would be fine with that because I think this is really great.
Oh, I would if you tell me I get to get rid of like Novel Noel and Private Princess Christmas and I get Holidazed instead. Are you kidding me right now? Like that's like me getting a raise. Like that's crazy. The difference there. Like that's insanity.
It's a raise in spirits.
But also like I don't know. Like they Cherry Lane and this, like most of our LGBTQ inclusion is on the plus. I think we established that.
As far as A characters go, totally. Yeah. Like we had some B's scattered throughout the Hallmark season, but I
don't know if they were B's or not.
B stories, not
bisexual. I don't know.
Language.
That's their business. No, like A story, B story. We had a lot of supporting characters in the Hallmark movie.
But had some B's.
Yeah. Where are the T's?
Thankfully, we didn't have any C's.
T's matter too, man. What are we doing here? Let's go.
We didn't have any C's.
All of the queer presence on Hallmark Linear this year was supporting characters and sort of side stories, whereas like the couple here, like Jonathan Bennett on Cherry Lane, like that all got put behind a paywall, which was kind of
unbelievable.
frustrating. And I'll tell you, the episode that focuses on that family is not only like super gay, but it's also super Chinese.
Yeah.
Like
Really?
they really get into the things of how they celebrate and what they eat and that kind of stuff. And again, like would have been nice to see that on Hallmark, and one day we will.
Yeah, I mean, it's just another like with Lisa Hamilton Daly now gone, rest in peace. Obviously, how much of that placement was her directive? Is like, will we see any changes? Because if there's a big change,
then we'll know.
And so that's another interesting.
Did you
thing
happen
to
to
keep an eye
catch
out
those
for.
February movies we covered during the decades, Alonso?
Yes. So that it's new.
They're doing a
It's
new thing.
different.
I don't know if that
different.
I don't know how well that bit worked, but I liked
Oh,
it.
we love it.
It was much funnier than the Stop the Steal one, but that's just
fair
me,
enough.
you know.
Here's mine is listen, they have a lot of people have Christmas karaoke in Hallmark movies, and that's wonderful. This is an annual Christmas festival.
Yeah, it is.
I don't really know what that means, but I am here for it, and would really like to partake in an annual Christmas. Sorry, it's not even Christmas. It's just a karaoke festival. I would like to partake in that. Dan?
Yeah, mine, we've pretty much covered it, but like kind of frustrated that this is where it is after sitting on a shelf for 2 years.
Yeah.
Like this is the equivalent of all of those bad Marvel movies Sony's releasing that have sat around that like when stuff sits on a shelf, it's because people have no confidence in it. I just don't understand how this sat. Like Ian Harding told us off the record after Ghost of Christmas Always, he talked to us about this show. We had him on our program after Ghost of Christmas Always. He told us about filming this show. How has it sat around that long?
I'm going to say this. I think it's the opposite of usually, if something gets shelved, they just like, they want to kind of just sneak it out of the world. I think they were very excited about this.
All right.
And they were like, we have a streaming platform we want to sell. We have to put something on it that's going to really draw in viewers. And really all they had to do was just show the new Christmas movies the next day. And that's what people really wanted, but they didn't want to go that way. They wanted to do original stuff. Right. And they were like, we got this thing and it's got all these people in it. And it's like, it's different than what we use. It's different. And so, I think they were hanging on to it because they were like, this is how we're going to launch the streaming service and it's going to go great for us.
All right. If you say so.
Yeah, no, I do think that's it. I just don't think they had the manpower to promote it. Like it's just like between all of the backing that they gave to Holiday Touchdown, I didn't hear really anything about this.
You
which
may
is
have saved it for the plus, but you buried it.
Yeah.
Like even if that wasn't the intention, I mean. Mistletoe Murders could have easily launched the plus. Like
they started this thing so late that the last episode aired on Christmas Eve.
Good gosh, man! They didn't even try with this. They tried with the groomsmen. They definitely tried with the groomsmen. They did not try with this. So that's
I think if they had not
Philadelphia,
if they had maybe skipped groomsmen and started this a little bit earlier, that might have helped. And maybe not drop everything on a Thursday. I don't know what that is about. But,
it's a mess over there.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll get to Wait What's, and then we will unveil a brand new segment called what are we calling it, Alonso?
What's your holly? What's your days?
What's your holly? What's your days?
Fantastic.
Take the Hallmark.
Deck the Hallmark. Nailed it.
The delay's crazy.
As good as we've ever done.
The delay's crazy today.
It's unbelievable.
Let's get to the Wait What's. So we're talking about what in this episode made us go wait what. I'll start with you, Alonso.
So I was originally trying to talk Christy Lemire at Breakfast All Day into recapping this show on our Patreon channel where we do TV recaps, and we usually do like kind of prestige shows and like the Marvel and Star Wars stuff, whatever. And I thought, oh, this would be fun. Let's do this Hallmark thing. And she watched the one episode and immediately came back to me and said, do they all look like this? And I realized, oh, right. If you're not used to, if you ever have a steady diet of Hallmark, you forget like that everything is like super bright all the time.
I had no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, I knew immediately.
But what I did notice this time is that all of the movies that we watch, everybody's house looks not lived in. You know, it has that sort of like model home generic quality where like all the countertops are gleaming. If anything, there's too many Christmas decorations in the actual kitchen. But generally speaking, everything's very bland and personality free, and it doesn't feel like people really live there. So what if we now get 6 of those houses where no one looks like they live anywhere? Like the Minetti Hanahans, who have established themselves as being rambunctious and eccentric and, you know, like tons of kids running underfoot and all that stuff. Even their house looks like a mausoleum. And so seeing that many bland, featureless model homes next to each other really drove home the point for me that that's what we do on this channel. And I hated it. And then, I mean, that's kind of it, because like we're so early into we're just setting up the plots now. We haven't gotten nearly into the weeds yet of the wait what's to come.
I have a few. One, what's her? I don't even remember what the character's name is. But she's very bothered by that her sister is using so many emojis in the text message.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What type of adult uses this many emojis?" And I'm here to let her know, unfortunately, a lot of them, a lot of the.
I mean, I'm with her, but also, a lot of them do that. Yes,
yeah, a lot of them. You know, as I was watching this, I was wondering, how big is this town? What's the size of this town? And it was answered in the fact that the Aaron Cahill gave him a handwritten ticket, which is next level. She didn't go back. She didn't do the thing.
And then process the credit card payments in the police station by hand. She may have had a credit card machine somewhere.
Credit card, you got it.
But she wrote the ticket and processed the credit card payment for the ticket, which
she didn't do. There
has to be something illegal about that. But that's
she didn't do the thing where she's like, "Let me go, let
me go get the person that does that in the office."
Or even just when she's writing the ticket, she didn't go back to her, like look up the license. Like, hey, let's see.
Paid my fair share of speeding
Square
tickets
on her phone, even
No one ever pays the police officer that wrote the ticket. No one does that. That's not.
So that's how big the town is. And now we know. And that's nice.
Yeah. I'd die there. For sure.
That's a small town. That's exactly right. I talked about the karaoke festival, and I'd love to go there. I found it so interesting that of the things that they put effort into in this show, one of the things that they decided to do was to write a really weird duet was just like, I don't even know how to describe the genre of this song. It was such an odd song, and I just don't really know I didn't really know what to do with it. And so I'm not saying I disliked it. I'm just saying it was different. It was different. It's different. Last but not least, I was personally underwhelmed by Chuck's house when he plugged in the lights. If you're gonna bring in a thing and go up and do the bucket lift and do the thing, I want it to be very elaborate and take my breath away. And you will not.
Wes Brown would not be coming to that house.
I was just about to say that. I was like, not only would you don't have a chance of making Great American Life Fight. Maybe Wes Brown's show, but probably not. Underwhelmed was I. Dano?
Yeah, just 3 quick ones. One, if you tell me I got lunch, I'm bringing you a Power Bowl, I will not eat said Power Bowl. You don't get to do that. You don't get to decide that I'm eating a Power Bowl. Yeah, what about no. You don't just do that.
My body, my choice.
That's right. You don't even do that to your own parents. Get some sort of like verbal, Power Bowl sounds. You can't just be like, I'm bringing Power Bowls. We'll see you guys later.
Anytime I hear Power Bowl, though, I think of the Power Team, and that makes me happy,
ripping phone books, the whole thing. But I will say
about Jesus.
I'll say this. It is not that I think you can't, like, if you said, I'm bringing a pizza to your parents, above board, like, you can do that. Like, I know what kind of pizza both of my parents eat. That's not a problem. You can't just look at someone and say, I'm bringing Power Bowls. That is, unless you work out with them every day and you guys all go eat the same Power Bowl. You've lost your mind.
Unless you're doing a thing with them.
That's right.
You know, we're doing a thing
around here.
Where
That's
we have
true.
smoothies.
But
Powerball's one step.
Powerball we're not doing. No. They karaoke at a place called the Mellow Mushroom, and they act like that is a local bar. And I have news for you. The Mellow Mushroom is a chain of pizza bars. That is a chain. Yes. And it's one we have in town here. And I don't know if it was just happenstance or they filmed it there and thought they would change it in post. But they do the interior. Interior of the Mellow Mushroom does not look like that, and they do karaoke there at a place called the Mellow Mushroom. Maybe it was just like it happens to be a bar called the Mellow Mushroom. I don't know, but as soon as I saw it, I went, "They're karaokeing at the pizza place, the pizza establishment, the Mellow Mushroom." But it doesn't look like that in there.
I like Mellow Mushroom.
And then lastly.
I bet in British Columbia, a place called Mellow Mushroom has a whole
different. Oh no, that's a vibe they also did not land. But it could have been.
They don't do a lot of karaoke there.
No, They think they're doing karaoke, but they're not. The last one I have is a legitimate one, and maybe it's just me. I'm the guy that says I have internet connectivity issues and my kids don't do the snow day. So maybe this is just me. But if I'm moving to Australia and you threaten me with a court date in a small town, I'm still moving to Australia. What are you going to do?
Extradite me
to your podunk one cop town for your fire hydrant court case. Just send me the fine in the mail. It'll get to me in a month. I'll write you a check in Australian dollars. Get lost. Get lost. Are you kidding? Get bent, small town. I'm leaving. There is no world where your threat of a court appearance is going to stop me from flying to Australia. What are we doing here? Like as soon as she says it, he's like, "Well, I'm bound by the law." What are you talking about? It's a nothing thing. Go to Australia. This is crazy.
You think maybe it would stop him from getting back in the country? Maybe
stop him at the it's border? Not a federal anything.
Yeah, well, I'm trying.
It's like if the town of Greer, South Carolina was like, you hit a mailbox, and I'm like, all right, take that up with Delta Airlines because I'm out of here. That is stupid. Nobody cares. Nobody can. Good luck.
It's time for Are You Holla? Holly or Days?
We ain't no holla back.
Alonso, what's your Holly and what's your Dazed?
My Holly is that we have a lot of really talented people, and I think they find a way to find the fun in this as it goes along. And so that's, I think even from this first episode, you can tell that they're game and they're ready to really kind of like sink their teeth into this. My Dazed is that they are not even trying to make this seem like winter.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Like, could I have some like cotton batting or some fire extinguisher foam, something?
All the money in the cast.
Yeah, there's no snow on the ground. Like they're barely like bothering to put coats on half the time. Like, fake it a little, Holidays. Come on.
My Holly is also the cast. My Dazed is there's not nearly enough murder in this show. We just watched a show where there's murder in one town 3 times in 1 month. So let's just divvy it up a little bit. Maybe a crossover show. Maybe she comes into town.
Mistletoe murder days.
That's exactly right. Maybe there's something there, but it's just not realistic to me that there's not any murder in this, because if there's one thing I've learned, it's that there's at least a little murder and typically a lot of murder. So disappointed in the amount of murder.
One of the safer small towns that we've seen. Yeah, for sure.
Well, they do paper tickets.
Yeah, paper tickets.
I don't think they get a lot of it.
You have to look the cop in the eye that you pay that pulled you over. You got to look him dead in the eye and be like, I know, and now I'm paying you.
You take personal checks or?
So my Holly is Sir Darius Blaine. I mean, this guy, anytime we can get more Sir Darius Blaine, I'm here for it. The idea of him and Dennis Haysbert having any sort of confrontation is great. Like Dennis Haysbert is just built entirely out of gravitas. Like he's the Nationwide or Allstate guy, whatever. He's he's the president. Of 24. Like
I can't wait for them to talk.
Pedro Serrano from Major League. That's a shout out to nobody. He is like Dennis Haysbert is everything he says matters and it's important. And Sir Blaine is a mountain of a human being. And so those two having any sort of like anything where they have to talk is definitely the Holly of this. There's no question about it. And then the Dazed is like, while I did like every story, I am upset that I know that it's not going to be like this every week. I think the most ambitious would have been to do all of these stories every week. The fact that I know that it's one family next week and so on and so forth, and the finale is kind of another hodgepodge beluga, that is disappointing to me. Because I feel like episodes will live and die on that one family's plot line. And I feel like as overstuffed as it was, I feel like I knew all of these characters by the end of 40 minutes. And so I want to keep seeing all of them every week instead of the focus being on just a few of them.
Think of poor Brand's synopsis.
Yeah, that's true.
That's right. Think of the synopsizers out there, okay?
Yeah, the synopsizers. There are dozens of us.
There's dozens.
Dozens.
We did, everybody.
Yeah, we
Congratulations
did.
to us. So we'll be back next week with episode Deuce of Holidays. So coming back for that. And then, of course, we'll be back tomorrow with another episode. Until then, maybe the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark is a Bramble Jam podcast. It's produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.